recently had a pretty interesting realization. And honestly, I want to make this video super quick. I don't want to dive into it for 15, 30 minutes. I just don't think there's a point. But I've been thinking a lot about the progression, especially from last year to like this year, and just like goals in general, and like this vision board stuff, and like basically all the things I'm actually looking to achieve, right? And so the interesting thing that I thought about was I really do enjoy, and honestly it's a very like grateful position to be in the entrepreneurship and the business space, and like doing all these cool things, right? And basically just sitting at home all day, right? And that's how I make things happen. That's just what happens. But I've had a very interesting thought, because sometimes I find this stuff extremely boring. Like extremely boring, right? And to most people it's like, oh, I go to work and stuff, all day long. You can't tell me it's hard to sit at home all day. But the thing is, it's different, right? With a regular 9 to 5, for one, you're guaranteed money. For two, you're frankly just doing physical labor, right? And I can't argue that it is actually tougher on the body. It's tougher on the mind as well. Because I know I wouldn't be able to do that sort of stuff, because back when I had a job, like I used to do retail sales and that sort of stuff. So you're always running around, or I did a bunch of warehouse jobs, and the classic boring thing, right? And so I could definitely never see myself doing that stuff again. But I will say that it is a whole different level, and it's a whole different game of just sitting on your laptop all day long. I don't know if you can tell by my face, but when you look at this face, the guy's been sitting for a few hours on the laptop. You know what I mean? And when you're sitting there on the laptop, just you and the laptop all day long, day in, day out, morning to night, 5 a.m.s to 12 a.m.s, like it really doesn't matter. Like even if it's more than 5-6 hours, that's already more than an average person spends a day like on their phone. And here you got your phone, your iPad, your MacBook, your camera, or whatever it may be, and you have your whole setup going, and you're just like grinding, right? And I've thought about this, and I genuinely see myself getting to the point and the level of accumulation of like around 80 million. Like that's the real honest, like God's honest number that I do want to see. Whatever it is, either in valuation or liquid. Obviously liquid's cooler, but the point is, to this whole entire race journey to the Pateks, the GT3 RSs, the apartments. I've got the apartment, like dude, the apartment is sick too. Like today I literally spent an entire day on basically self-care Tuesday with my girlfriend. Like we just sat in the hot tub, we sat in the spa and the sauna. Like we have that on the in our building. But the point that I realized is it was so refreshing, and it was so awesome, because it's not a thing that I do like really ever. My girlfriend's been to the hot tub more than I have, to the spa more than I have. We've been in this place for like close to half a year now, and I've been there like twice. So the entire realization I've had is honestly, like, the average person is genuinely not ready to take on like the stuff entrepreneurs do and business people do, and just in general the soul boredom, right? Because what is it for the average person? For the average person, it's the weekend, right? It's what am I going to drink next? It's what bar, club, or venue am I going to next? What concert am I going to next? Here I'm sitting with myself and debating whether I should like literally move or go to Mexico for a month or two to completely switch my environment. Because what I've realized in this building, and it's great, it's cool, it's very dope, but there's something about the environment that's like missing, or something about action that's missing. Because I've thought about this to myself for a minute now, that because I actually stumbled upon these videos on YouTube, right? And it was basically these guys in Australia that go on these, a few day or a week or 7 days or however many days. They go on this like island trip, and they basically call it catch and cook or something. It's basically like, essentially it's like you catch whatever you catch is what you eat for the day, and if you don't catch anything, like you're basically starving, and like you swim on an island all day with your flippers and your spear gun and stuff. And I genuinely thought about this, and I'm like, this potentially, like if I just had 80 mil in the bank right now sitting and I had nothing to worry about, I think that is exactly what I would be doing. Is spearfishing on an island, building like sheds or shelter, whatever you want to call it, out of like palm tree leaves, right? Because I feel like that's just fulfilling. I feel like that's awesome. There's no phones, there's no cameras, there's no video stuff, because in the world of social media, ads, marketing, sales, programs, coachings, software, SaaSes, entrepreneurship, YouTube's contents, like in a world of that, the one thing that we're missing with so much technological advances is like true authenticity with the world and like learning about the world. Because to me, it's been like, yeah, I haven't been to many places. Like, I mean, I know the year just started, but in general, I'm like, I want to visit all these places. I want to see the world. I want to touch monkeys. I want to cuddle with like, elephants or something. I don't know, like just literally see the like nature at its finest. When you think of like, wild giraffes in Africa, like the real deal, or like the pyramids in like Egypt, right? Or in Australia, seeing kangaroos. I've already done that, but that's when I was like a kid. Or Las Vegas, Nevada, like casinos, right? Like that's the atmosphere, right? The environment, like it's its own presence, if that makes sense. Like Hawaii or whatever, you think of sharks, surfing, right? Like that sort of deal. Just being in that environment, that's just what's cool. And that's what I'm finding that I'm missing, is some sort of action or experiences. Not even, I would say, in my day-to-day. It's honestly like I need these things to happen like on a monthly basis, because I'm a very like movable action sort of person. Like I hate being stagnant or dropped in a certain location, or for like locked down in a certain location, or like whatever. Like I like to be as flexible as stupidly possible, meaning I can literally book a trip right now to Mexico and just go, or I can book a trip to Spain and me and my girlfriend, we just go. Like we just, no plans, right? Just straight motion, straight momentum. And I feel like that's something awesome. And again, back to the whole thing of GT3 RSs and Ferraris and Lambos and Pateks and APs. That's cool. And maybe when we get there, maybe I'm gonna really love that, But I've really put it into my brain, or imagined myself already having these things, and I'm like, damn, I need some motion, in the sense of I need like momentum, like things happening, moving, flowing. So even if I do get to those, when I get to those APs and the Raris and all that, I still wouldn't want to be here where I'm at today. Like I'd still want to like be as flexible as possible to actually move around, go places, take actions, try things, scuba dive, ski there, French Alps, whatever, see Olympics, like, play hockey in Antarctica or something, like just cool stuff. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are also seeing as far as like entrepreneurship goes, the whole online space of, business model here, business model there. People are just like loop, you know what I mean? And I don't think that's too good. And I don't think that has served me too good either. However, at the end of the day, you just gotta realize, you gotta be grateful for where you're at and what you're doing and what you're, able to do, right? Because a lot of people would say, hey, I'd totally switch, my position with your position or vice versa. But again, that's irrelevant, right? Because we put ourselves in the positions that we're in. So, you know, when you put yourself in the position that you're in, it's your choice, your job, if you want to stay in it or you want to change something about it, right? So that's just straight up my yapping, going into a camera and then going on the internet, what I've been thinking, particularly in my scenario and situation. So again, Rolexes are cool, they're very awesome, and I am waiting on getting a few Ferraris GT3 RSs, very cool stuff. We will get there in due time. There's actually a GT3 RS in my building's parking garage, which is very cool to witness, see, and hear. We'll get to, you know, $1 million mansions or whatnot. Houses is a whole different story. I mean, in the city where I live, the home, a good home would be like, you know, 5-10 million. But for 5-10 million, you'd most definitely expect like at least half a castle. You know what I mean? Therefore, like the options to actually get like housing in places and just like more of that like lockdown of like because my vision of like the future, the next, you know, year or two is literally me and my girlfriend running on the beach, working out, swimming, you know, palm trees, getting that sun, vitamin D or whatever they say, you know, fresh fruits, good food, you know, swimming pool, obviously exercise, that sort of thing. And then building great things, building awesome things. And that's one thing as well, specifically for myself with the app software space. If you've watched any of my other videos, with the apps and software, I'm actually looking to build out an app studio of where I'm basically working on multiple apps, multiple different things. I have developers, Korean developers, which are really good. And I actually even signed a client yesterday, which is really awesome, right? You'd think like, hey, like someone else would totally switch themselves into my position. I literally just signed a client for 30%, and this is the type of video I'm making. Like, why am I not making I just signed a 30% client, and you know we're scaling to 100K. Like it's cool, but it feels like almost like not even like that exciting. Like it's cool, but I don't know, like actual purpose wise, maybe not, but you know, making money wise, I guess, yeah. It's cool. So not sure how long this video is, but yeah, so we have developers. I mean, I signed that client. I have another client pending that I'm potentially going to sign for like 40%. He has a channel on YouTube with like 8 million subscribers. He has his Instagram with only about like 80K. The client that I signed yesterday, he has like over 250,000 on Instagram. He has over like 200,000 on YouTube. So again, big clients, cool stuff, very, you know, huge following, and then just awesome stuff, really. But at the end of the day, it all still sparks me to move and get ahead into life. So comment down below if you have ever experienced anything like this. Like, what did you do? I mean, I literally asked ChatGPT today, like, I want to move from here where I'm at right now, and I've been thinking for going like for a month, getting a villa, moving to, you know, somewhere cool, exotic for a month, and just building, growing, straight health focused, like a 1 month sprint, honestly, of like complete location change, complete like new routine set up, and that stuff just excites me. I don't know what it is, but it genuinely gets extremely exciting to me. Thinking about it, even it's just sick. I think it's very cool, and also again building products on the back end of all of it, right? Like spending 3, 4, 5 hours just coding up a few apps or whatever it may be, and then the rest is like exercise, good food, movement, motion, activities, tours, learning about the world, finding a cool rock on the ground or something, or swimming and finding a coral, and Nemo and sharks and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, a lot to think about for sure. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about stuff like this in the whole like entrepreneurial guru business model, my business this, my business that sort of space. So again, just an interesting take on something that's personally happened to me or has been happening to me. So if you have any suggestions on what to do, very cool. Welcome to hear all of them. And yeah, I believe I will see you in Mexico in about 2 months or so, or somewhere exotic at least. So that should be a cool sprint. I think I've finally sort of decided that we are doing that. I mean, I am going somewhere exotic in May, but that's in about, 2 months from now, and we have a whole lot of places to scale to before we even get there, because there's 2 months before we even go, and then potentially might be going somewhere in April too, and then potentially in July. So in general, I want this year to be a whole lot of motion, a whole lot of movement, a whole lot of like world findings or whatever you want to call it. But that's just something that's exciting to me. I don't know if you guys find it exciting. Maybe you're just like, hey dude, I'm trying to make 10K a month, or maybe you're like a founder and you're like, hey, like I've been selling courses, I'm tired of it, you know, maybe I should start a software. Maybe you should, and maybe that's why you're watching this channel. So that being said, I do appreciate you listening to this entire Gap session. I think it was pretty cool, pretty authentic. And yeah, I'm gonna go drink some tea, go straight to bed, and wake it up at 5 a.m. Let's go.